Los Angeles hit nearly 90 degrees Wednesday, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was feeling every bit of it.
You've been commissioner for 15 years. Do you not bear some personal responsibility for not having made more progress?
During the commissioner's traditional pre-Super Bowl press conference, the questions barely hit on Sunday's big game, instead focusing on multiple problems plaguing the NFL off the field, starting with a recent lawsuit filed by former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores, alleging black coaches are being chronically ignored for top jobs.
What's getting done to really implement change in that respect?
I think we made a tremendous amount, a lot of progress in a lot of areas, but not at the head coach. And that is something that is something we really have focused on to try to get the kind of results that we would expect. And we fell short of that by a long shot for us.
On the topic of overall diversity in football, Goodell took tough questions, including from his own employees.
When we look at the league office, of the top 11 executives there are only 2 people of color. When we look at NFL Media Group, where I work, there is not one black person at the senior level in the newsroom who makes decisions about a league whose player population is 70% black.
We believe in diversity. We believe in it as a value. We believe it's made it stronger. People who've come into the league who are diverse have been very successful and made us better. And we just have to do a better job.
Goodell was also asked about sexual harassment allegations made by a former employee against Dan Snyder, owner of the recently renamed Washington Commanders.
Dan Snyder and the Washington football team need to be held accountable.
Wednesday, the Commanders announced they would conduct an investigation. Goodell says not so fast.
I do not see any way that a team can do its own investigation of itself. That's something that we would do. We would do it with an outside expert that would be able to help us come to the conclusion of what the facts were and what really truly happened, so that we can make the right decision from there. So we'll treat that seriously.
In his lawsuit, Brian Flores says he was offered money to lose games, presumably so the team could get better draft picks. Goodell says those allegations go to the heart of football's integrity.
They are very serious matters to us on all levels, and we need to make sure we get to the bottom of all of them.
And I'm honored to have with me a sensational panel of very impactful voices on the program today to talk about this case. Still with me, former NFL linebacker Rennie Curran, sports attorney Dan Lust, criminal defense attorney Tamara Walker, and criminal defense attorney Michael Sterling. Rennie, I'd like to go to you first on this one, if I may, please. Learning about this case, one fact that came out through Brian Flores was that he was offered $100,000 from the Dolphins if he would tank games. And it's his contention that because he refused to do that, refused to lose on purpose, that he thinks that's why he was let go. That just, I know, made a lot of people sick to hear that. And I would think someone like yourself, who worked so hard, you know, to play, you know, at the top level of the sport, would be so sickened by that. Tell us how that makes you feel hearing that, please.
It's extremely disheartening. Appreciate the question and for you having me on. It really, really is. Because like you said, you work extremely, extremely hard. A lot of us, when we get to the league, it's our dream to make it there. You know, we've grown up watching our star players. We have dreams and aspirations of being able to help our families, being able to change our situations. A lot of us are from really, really tough backgrounds. So to hear that that goes on behind the scenes, when you already know it's a business, it really is disheartening. And it's sad that that's the case, you know, when it comes to especially coaches of you know, African-American descent that are minorities that already have a tough situation walking into many times a lot of situations where the numbers are against them, right? The stats are against them already. When you look at how many times they get the opportunity to fail, right, to lose, it doesn't look good. You know, they don't really get that much of an opportunity. So to hear things like this happen, it really, once again, drives the case that things have to change. I mean, whether it's a racial rule or just something that they put in place, they have to go beyond just saying diversity is one of our values. And just like I said, checking the box. It has to be actionable steps, and they have to be held accountable.
Right, Rennie. And Rennie, is there a message you have for any fans who might have been really disheartened to hear something like that, who love and appreciate players like you know, who play your hearts out in the games? What do you say to all the fans who are rooting for you?
Yeah, I would just say to the fans that, regardless of what goes on in the league offices and, with the GMs and the owners, just know that every single player out there is fighting for their families, fighting for their communities. Like, these guys really, really care. I mean, even with the Super Bowl, with guys who just ended their seasons who aren't going to be playing in this game, some guys are already training and preparing their bodies for next season. So just know that regardless of what goes on, like, a lot of us players, we have no clue that a lot of these things exist. We're just out there trying to make the best, and every single day, every single year, you have to earn your job. So just know that, we want to win just as badly as you do as fans, and we care. This is not just something that we do for fun. This is, this is about family. This is about legacy. This is about so much more than just a game.
Yeah, it really is, Rennie. Thank you. Dan Lust, to you next on this one, please. The NFL made it clear they're going to defend this suit, calling the claims meritless, saying they're without merit, and strong words there. We know this is early on in the litigation, but tell me, when you look at this suit, what do you think? Do you see something that does have merit and does have teeth?
Well, I think the NFL would have that statement back if they could. I think that it was issued maybe within like an hour and a half of the lawsuit being filed. And you guys are talking about there's allegations with respect to Stephen Ross. We'll call it a bribe, $100,000 per game lost. I think the allegation was about the 2019 season. So I'm not sure how the NFL could conduct a full investigation into those bribing allegations within an hour and a half and call that meritless. And really, to the larger conversation, Brian Flores has specific allegations, right, with the NFL's track record for 20 years. So there's certainly some merit to those allegations, right? So I don't think you can say that's without merit. Now, as for the specific claims here, right, we essentially have 4 causes of action for discrimination. I think, I don't know if anyone will disagree, but I don't think the Stephen Ross allegation with respect to a bribe, I think even if you showed me a check and the smoking gun that said Stephen Ross's name for $100,000 in the memo line, it said for Brian Flores to lose, it's not really discrimination, right? It's something, but I don't think it's necessarily relevant to that cause. Really where people are focusing on, at least at this stage, and obviously we're going to see what comes out in discovery, but now what people are really sinking their teeth into, aside from the actual numbers and the statistics of, 1 NFL head coach, 6 NFL general managers, 0 owners, people are looking at that text message, that text exchange. We showed that video earlier between Brian Flores and Bill Belichick. I should mention, full disclosure, I worked for the New York Giants from 2008 to 2012. I have had no involvement in the organization in about 10 years. I will say, and I think any football fan can tell you, or lawyer, right? Bill Belichick is the head coach of the New England Patriots. He does not work for the Giants. He's not legally capable of speaking for the Giants. And if you look at those texts, it says, I'm hearing from Buffalo and the Giants that you're going to get the job. I think they're going to name Brian Daboll. So, I don't know if that's necessarily a smoking gun that I think many thought it was when you first read the complaint. I think it's certainly relevant. You're going to figure out, right? You want to depose Belichick. You're going to depose, all these other people. But I'm not sure as of today that we can say one way or the other definitively Brian Flores' true chance of success here.
Understood. Dan Lust, thank you kindly. Thanks to all of you. You're being so generous with your time.